Your show.
Okay, let's see. Can you see it? Because I can't
Yep.
see it. You
Yes,
can see it?
yep, I'm sharing now to make
Oh,
sure.
because my Facebook is not, it's not responding, but at least you guys can see. That's all that matters.
Yes. Try to make sure people know.
All right, we're here, guys, on the Sharpshooter Show,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm having, not you all, I'm having a little technical difficulties, but I just want to make sure it's being shown on the page and people are able to share out. So, are you able to share out, Tiana?
Yes, just did.
Okay, good.
I
Because
sure did.
it's still not showing on
Yeah, we
mine.
have someone live already. We have one. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, because my page says this page is having a problem. I'm gonna refresh.
Okay. But yes, it is out there.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Sharpshooter Show. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being on the show. Thank you, our audience, for tapping in. Benton Harbor, tap in. Please share out on your platforms, any platforms that you have, Instagram, um, whatever platforms are out there. There's so many of them. But whatever platform you can share out on, please share out. We have a powerful show for you tonight. I am your host, Miss G, and we have a special show for you all this evening. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in. We have our wonderful Commissioner Emma Kennard, Mother Kennard, yay. Hey, beautiful Mother
Hey,
Kennard, how you doing?
hello everyone.
Good to see you again. Good to see you
Yes,
again. Always good to see your beautiful face. She's going to be here with us. Well, she's going to be doing some city updates and what's going around and going on in the city. So we'll be updated on that. And then Miss Trustee Gavin was not able to be with us tonight. We missed her. We missed her. We missed her beautiful, powerful voice and her
yes,
beautiful face on tonight. But she will be with us next time. But we do have another beautiful, powerful person that
yes.
is going to share some things with us. Her name is none other than Miss Tiana Waddell, former chief of
Yes,
academics of Benton Harbor area schools. Let's
Yeah.
give her a
yes,
hand.
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you for
Give
having
her
me
a
here.
hand.
Thank you. I feel so
Yes,
honored to be here. This is so much fun.
We're so
You all are
honored to
powerful.
have.
You all are powerful too. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes. So how have you guys' week been? You guys had a good week? I hope
Yes,
everybody had a good week.
yes.
yes.
Good,
Busy every
And
day.
mine is blessed.
Wonderful,
I
wonderful.
got my love letters done.
Oh, good. We're gonna
I
talk about
did.
that.
Oh,
I know. I
oh,
need me
Got-
some more. I need
Oh, wait,
more.
look,
yeah,
I got something to tell y'all about the love
yes.
letters. I'm telling y'all, we're
Yes,
gonna talk about
I
that
got
later.
all of mine done.
Oh, good, good,
Oh,
good.
that's awesome.
All right. So we're gonna get started because we can start talking and we'll just go into some subjects and lose track of the time. So,
Yeah,
but again, thank you, audience, for being here. We love you. Tune in, tap in, give us your thoughts and your concerns when we're
Right.
talking. We're gonna
Trying
try
to
to
get people on
continue
here now.
that, and because we want to hear from you. We do. We want to hear from you. Your voice is important. Your voice is definitely important. Your thoughts and concerns and solutions are important. So we're going to start with Mama Kennard, Mama Commish Kennard with some city updates. So what do you
thank,
have for night, Mom
Thank
Kanar.
you so much. And well, as usual, there's a lot of things that is happening. Some things that we sort of can get a little bit of understanding, and some of it is we still are not completely clear. And these are things in the making. A lot of them I won't really speak upon yet because, like I said, some things is in the making. It's best to just wait until it presents itself. One
Mhm.
of the things, though, that was on this past Wednesday, the finance uh, committee came forth, and they were talking about one of the things that uh, residents will be responsible for the tree lawn area if the sidewalk or the tree is doing some damage or something. We have to be responsible to take care of this. Now, I
Yeah.
often asked also, well, why was the city income tax created then? I know because I was a part of the oversight board, and they
Mhm.
completely wiped it out. So, what they said that the oversight board is to take care of the streets and this and that and all. So, I'm trying to figure now that they're taking down the trees and everything. How is that to be the responsibility? And that's what the city income tax was created for, is for the streets and other sometimes some of the emergencies, sidewalks too. And the sidewalks, some of them are so old that they are missing a portion of the sidewalks, which is
Mm.
dangerous. Someone could walk at night and actually trip over an uneven surface. So I did bring up that fact, but the one thing that I'm trying to put around my mind is that uh, why is it that this is the city property and we take the tree down or anything, we have to get permission from the city if it's our responsibility. And one other thing that is a mystery to me, and I can't really put my mind around it. If we got a clearing here in my front of my house, they were putting trees out because they called me and asked me would I help put trees up. It's been about 2 or 3 years ago, and I told them I will certainly not because whoever's got the trees and bringing them and putting them up, they asked me to help assist the person. That person
Mhm.
is getting paid, but I won't get paid. So no, the free service there did not happen and won't happen.
Mm.
So I just said that is to say this. If they put a tree out there, sometimes those trees block your view of another car coming on. That's what happened here next door to me. So the girl just went ahead and cut the tree down because the tree was blocking the view, and they didn't ask our permission is to put the tree out there. If we're going to be responsible for it, then we should have some say so if you're going to try to make me responsible. But I don't believe that there's anything that's really legal that said that they can plant trees, put anything, then we have to go to them and ask for permission for this, that, and the other because that is actually city property, the sidewalks and curbs and all of that. That belong to the city. My property ends at where the sidewalk is. But they
Yeah, but they
saying,
were trying to say, yeah, they were trying to say that that's the residents, not the residents, the owner's property, right?
yeah,
But
that's right.
then I watched the video, and then when you asked about, well, if it's your property, if it's the owner's property, but the city comes and plants trees on the tree lawn that's supposed to be the owner's without the owner's permission.
Hmm.
And if something happens where that tree falls or is damaged in that area, how is the homeowners responsible for that when they didn't even know that it was being put in and the city put it in
And didn't give permission to put it
and didn't
in.
get permission from the homeowners? They just put it in, right?
Hmm.
And when you
That's right.
ask that question, like, why are we responsible for something that you all put in, but it's our property, but y'all put it in on our property without our permission,
Mm-hmm.
and then something happens and we have to take responsibility for that. How is that? And I saw that they couldn't answer that question. Even
No.
the mayor referred, when mayor said, I'm not a lawyer, okay, refer to the attorney that you all pay, that you
Mm-hmm.
have. He referred to the attorney. The attorney couldn't even answer the question,
That's true.
you know. So what is
Yeah.
that? The
And that's
attorney, I have to look it up. I have to come back with this, whatever, but it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make
no,
sense
it doesn't.
at all.
No. And there's a lot of items that they're trying to put on the backs of the residents of our people. And I told them, look, the
Oh
commissioners, each
yeah.
one of you remember this, that the residents, the people in the city here is our bosses. They elected us. And we've got to be a voice. And I plan to use my voice for better the conditions for them. That's what I'm elected for. And I'm not going to take anything less than that. That's why I come after them and don't care how they come after me. I don't miss any sleep. I enjoy my sleep. So
I know
I
that's
don't
right.
lose any rest of it. I don't lose any rest of it because I just present my case about a situation and I let the people know that I am working in their behalf. Because when I do a great service to my community, I'm doing a great service to me because I'm a part of the community. And so that's why I have to uh,
Hmm.
constantly put that forth. And I know I'm not one of the happy persons that they're glad to see come in all the time, but it's all right.
That's okay. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
why? We already know
yeah,
why. Because you
yeah.
don't play no games. You don't play the
That's
radio
right.
with them.
That's right. And
And
I've been called to the office there to try to get me to, take the side of what's going on because I was called in the first month in January that I went as served as commissioner, and I was called in, and I was told by the city manager that the Plant Moran was the finance director. I said, no, it's not. That's a finance institution, but it's not a finance director. So no. So don't try to come in and say you're happy I'm here and everything. But I just want to tell you that was the first thing he wants to tell me. And that's the thing that I've been fighting for years. We need a finance director because finances is one of the things that the enemy is after all the time to break your community down, your schools down, or whatever. They usually tamper with the finance of it. And if we just really sit back and sort of look at it, our city government, our local government, if it's sick and everything, we don't have it to even back what's going on in the schools. We've
Mm,
got to have that support as to what's going on in the school because they can pull a lot of larger volume of responsible people to
mm,
speak up for what's going on in the schools.
mm,
hmm
mm,
That's the way I feel now.
mm.
Other persons is entitled to their own opinion about it, but
oh
that's the way
yeah.
I feel because
Hmm.
the children are tomorrow's homeowners or the voters and what have you. And so we just have to prepare the way for them that they don't have such a struggle as we are having.
Mm.
Right. Right. That's all. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
Definitely true. Our kids, our youth, are our present and our future.
Yes.
We used to just say our future, but they're present. They are present
They're
too.
the present, yes. And
Yeah,
they
and our
sometimes
future.
are watching what we are doing.
Oh,
Right,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
definitely. So with anything else going on in the city, I know they were trying to make people pay taxes, put some, when they were doing the houses or tearing down the houses or something.
Yes.
What was that
But
about?
this
When they
is
were
the
tearing
one
out the
thing I
houses,
want you,
they said that it was going to be charged to the residents' tax.
yes, they're going to be put on the residence tax. But
Yeah.
the one other thing that I want you all to really see what is really happening. I asked about a week or two ago, I asked Emma Marsh, they were there to do their presentation. I asked them if the persons that are doing the street work in our communities, are they charged a city income tax? Because I know I was on that oversight board and it
Mm-hmm.
was brought in and said anyone that's working in the city of Benton Harbor, that's why they had such a fight with Whirlpool. But they said anyone that is working in our city will have to pay the city income tax.
Are they paying?
And he told me no. He said, well, because we'll have to charge more for the work that's being done. And so, no, they're not paying city income tax. Yesterday, I brought it back up, and Miss Lisa, she told me, she said, oh, no, I apologize for what he said, Miss Kennard, because, yes, I'm sending out a letter today that there is supposed to be a city income tax charged to them too. Because I want to know if we, with our little income, which is little compared to what they're making, if we have to pay a city income tax because we live
Right.
here and we work here, why shouldn't they, making the kind of money they are, pay that
And,
city income tax? That was in law years ago. And I told them if there had been any change in that, I want to know whose signature is on that. So I want that information. I wanted ASAP.
mm-hmm. And so why would he tell you no?
Right.
If
That
it
he
why would
and
he
he
tell you
told it
no
right in
if
front
it's
of
not
us,
true?
and it's
Right? I don't
documented that
believe
he
they're,
said
I
it.
believe him. I believe him.
Uh-huh.
I believe that
I
they're
do too.
not paying taxes. I really truly
They just
believe
got caught off guard.
that's what it was.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Hmm.
Commissioner Kennard, they got caught. They wasn't
Yes,
expecting that question, and he wasn't prepped.
that's
He
right.
hadn't been prepped.
That's
Marsh
right.
hadn't been prepped to answer
Uh-huh.
that question. So when you came with it, he had to come with what he knew, which was no.
Come up with something. That's right. And
Which was no.
they
Then when
trying to
Lisa
straighten it
found
out.
out about it, when they found
Mhm.
out, now they're going to flip it, kind of backpedal on it. No, I
Yes.
don't. I believe Alvin Marsh.
Uh-huh. I do
I
too.
do. I believe
And I
them.
believe that some of those that have been cutting the grass has not been paying to the city income tax.
Can I ask a question?
So they need
Where do those
uh,
dollars go? What do those income tax dollars, what do they get to be spent on? Do they get to be spent on
on
schools?
there's no they're there to
Oh,
be spent on like if it could be an emergency that one of the trees
okay.
cause see some of those
Okay.
places are city owned property, vacant lots. They got trees and those trees has fell. So I'm trying to figure out from them, are we using different monies that is allocated for the streets for the residents and the city benefits too? Because then if they have a vacant lot that belongs to the city gets the advantage of getting that tree removed from that money.
Mhm,
So you got to look at a whole lot of things that they have in place,
mhm,
and you got to do what they call it, dissect it.
Right.
Because
That's
if
right.
you don't dissect it, they will pull one over on you and tell you to thank them for it.
Tell you what.
mhm,
Tell you to thank them for
mhm,
Oh.
misleading you.
mhm.
Mm.
I said that's some
True.
kind of thing
That's
that we're
true.
working with.
Mhm,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have to be wise and let them know that we're listening. They say I'm too old. I'm 81 years old. But I
mhm.
told them, how
You got
young do
more
you
sense.
have to be to
You got
tear up
more
and
sense.
mess up
You
a
got more
city?
sense than
Right.
most of them on their board together.
Skin is glowing.
And I'm just saying, I'm serious about that. And
And as young as they are,
whoever's saying that needs to stop.
and
Right.
young as they
Stop saying
are,
that.
as young as they are, this city should be running smooth because it's only 5 minutes across any way you go, north, south, east, or west.
Right.
Pretty much.
That's
Pretty
pretty
And
much.
so
true.
this city shouldn't have any problem. It should be running real smooth. It's smart as all of us claim that they are, and how highly educated they are, we shouldn't have this problem.
Right.
They should be
Yeah.
sure that our children get a good education so they can follow in pursuit of how smart they are, get the same advantage. Now, this is their claim, but if you were to measure it up to see if it irons out to be what they say it is, you would think that it's uh, for those that don't know. I always say that sometimes you can serve a person a brain and they take it out and play with
Oh gosh. Okay. So
it.
Mama cannot she got some sayings, yeah. I'm telling you, she got some sayings. But and hey, it is what it is. So let me ask you, the finance committee meeting yesterday, did it come
Yes.
up as far as reforming the income tax committee? Because you remember
No,
they took that away, but they were supposed to talk about that. The last meeting that they had, the commissioner meeting, they
yes.
said that they were going to talk about reforming that board, reforming that committee in the finance committee meeting yesterday. So they didn't even address that.
Only thing that he promised was the information that we have asked for in the past be much more forthcoming because, as I told them, the interim city manager um, sidetracked an email that I gave to the person that was taking care of the finance, not a
Yeah.
finance director, but she's been dealing, and I named her name and sent it to her. So that was the person that was supposed to give me an answer, but instead she told him, and he told her, "Don't worry about it. He would take care of that." And he sent me an email letting me know that she is not available to me right now, and he don't know when she would be. Now that was a slap in the face. I call that insubordination because I'm his superior, and that's what he messes with him when I tell him that
Yeah, that wasn't
because
his
he think
place.
he's
That wasn't
yeah,
his place and because you all are his boss.
that's right.
You
But
know,
he
he's
said
supposed
that
to be
he's
operating, dealing with the day to day and the different departments, and he's over that, but you all are over him.
that's right.
So
And
he
since
acts like he's over
everything
y'all. So,
right,
um,
and I brought up the fact about the cemetery.
yeah,
You know,
what's
our
going on with that?
cemetery is always the
What's happening with
cemetery.
with the cemetery? So the city is supposedly owes the cemetery over $100,000, right?
Plus, there's
Plus,
another additional money
right,
he
right.
had, and
And
he
it's
claimed
for burial. So I'm still trying to figure that out as far as
because that money should have been there all the time. They shouldn't have even had to go through the changes of getting it to the. And we didn't. We don't get information about these things coming until it hits the newspaper. They get it before we
right,
do,
right. Because
and that was
you
one
guys,
of the
you
things.
guys didn't know. Well, some of y'all probably didn't know about it until it hit the newspaper. But I guarantee you, some of them did.
Yes,
No,
I didn't know
because
anything
they
about
know what they
it.
owe. You're new
That's
coming in,
right.
right? You're
You're
new
right.
coming in, so you may not know as much as they know already.
But I
But they
do have
should
an experience
share
with
that info, huh?
I do have an experience with their city manager, so I know what we're dealing with.
So
But
you
I'm
know
not
how
gonna
you
say
already
what
know
it
how
is,
he
but I
works.
already know.
You already know how he works because you worked on him before.
That's
Because
right.
wait a minute, did you fire him from anyway? Let me
Yes,
anyway, we could talk about that later. But anyway, he got fired, I believe, from his other position he had um in the city. He sued the city twice and got rehired at the city.
by
I don't,
his friend,
huh?
by his buddy.
By his buddies. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know any corporation that gets sued twice by the same person and then hire that person back. That's just It just
That's
doesn't make
asking,
sense to me.
that's
Huh?
asking for pain, isn't it? That's
Huh?
asking for pain, isn't it? I said that is asking for pain, isn't it?
But you
Yeah.
know, they let stuff happen, let stuff go for whatever reason. We already pretty much know why.
But
But
that's the
Because
one thing
people,
that I was trying to get, because that hits the newspaper, so it ain't something that I was supposed to put out there. It was
what
already
was
in the
that?
newspaper
What was that?
about the cemetery,
Oh no,
and he
that's
claimed
public
up.
knowledge. That's public
Yes,
information. That's the Harold Pollution put it out. Even though they're
yeah.
Harold Pollution, you know, they put it out, and you know, because they don't put out, you know, they do
But guess what? They
what
don't
they
have
want to do.
money, anything that much. But he said we didn't already paid them now.
Who said
So
that?
why does it hit the paper for them to pay them? He claimed that they paid it,
They paid who?
paid the cemetery the money
Oh,
that they had. That since it hit the paper.
that's since it hit the paper.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we'll know. We'll know if they got paid. And
Well,
and
that's the thing that I wanted to ask, and he intercepted me talking to the finance person.
right. Real quick, there's comments online too, just so you guys know, people are commenting. Miss Wood, if you want me to say some things that people are saying online.
okay,
Okay.
Yeah, we got we have
thank
Miss,
you for that, Miss Tiana, too, because you know,
yeah,
I can't be talking and looking at the same
yeah,
thing.
I got you. I remembered that. So Miss Gavin did, that's what Miss Gavin does. I'm trying to, but anyway, yeah, it sounds like we have community members saying things like they keep trying to pass more financial burdens on the residents. Uh,
Right.
they're glad you're on top of it, Miss Kennard.
Yep.
And then, I'm glad I asked the question because I was wondering too, if they started paying those taxes on their, what did you call that? The work tax, the employment taxes, whatever those
No, the city income tax.
City
If
income
you
income
tax,
tax.
working in,
yeah,
yeah,
that brings more money back to the city for the community. So yeah, that's a definite push.
yes.
That's a
Yeah.
And
definite
myself,
push.
Commissioner Griffin and Commissioner Henry are some of those that are tracking it real close now.
Yeah. And
Because
see,
what they've been doing it for years, we're not letting it fly by anymore.
right. And see, I watched the video the other night. I watched it for the city the city commission meeting, and
Uh,
it was some things. If you Commissioner Mom Kennard
yes.
and Commissioner Clark Griffin, Ethel Clark Griffin, and Commissioner Henry had not spoken up
Mm-hmm.
on some of those issues that night, a lot of stuff would have gotten passed and got through.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Right.
But y'all spoke up on some stuff that had to stump them, and they had to stop.
Mhm.
Because you wasn't letting up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and they had to agree with what you all were saying.
Mhm.
Right.
And I appreciate you all for standing up, you and Commissioner Ethel Clark Griffin and Commissioner Henry, for standing up and saying, no, this is not going to happen. And Commissioner Henry separated those items, and I'm glad she did for a discussion.
Right.
And so that's how things went the reason why things went the way it went that night is because of
And
that.
I
And
and
you
I
all spoke up on
appreciate
it.
strong, as I said, I appreciate strong women
Mhm.
Yes.
who speak their
And
voice.
speaking of,
And it makes me feel support when I speak out on a point and we have done our research on it.
Right.
okay. So let's talk about that real quick because I know we're gonna get to Miss Tiana because I know she's gonna have some things to say because we all
Yes,
strong
we're
women. We're
interested.
all strong women on this show, you
Right.
know.
Yes.
And Commissioner Kennard said something the other night about strong women being attacked
Yeah.
by
Uh-huh.
men on the commission,
Because
right?
Commissioner Griffin is one of those strong ladies and
At the
Right.
board meeting,
and
Commissioner
right?
Griffin
Commissioner.
said something
Yeah, something.
about it. She led
Uh-huh.
it off talking about how,
Yeah.
the women are being attacked and everything. And then Mr. Kennard said something, and then Commissioner Henry said something. So they always like piggybacking off of each other with talking
Uh-huh.
about how the strong women, and look at the faces of people when they're talking. Look at their faces and how they
You can
react.
watch the demeanor of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch the meeting, how they react when you open up your mouth and say something that they don't like, and that's
It's
right.
almost like a put down.
Right, exactly. So she said that, and then at the end of her comment, and I do want to address this. At the end of her comment, she mentioned somebody said to tell you hi, to say hi. You mentioned
Yeah, somebody said,
Reverend
I
Pinckney.
said, Reverend Peter said, hi. Because I had just got water that day, and he said, well, what you got on your agenda? He said, I said, well, we got the commission meeting. He said, well, tell him I said hi. So when
And
I
that's what
told
you
them that he
said.
said
Mhm.
hi, they jumped out. How dare you bring that man's name up? I said, now I got to get permission from them to even call a person's name.
No, that was
Just
that.
because
See,
they have a problem with him, I don't. And if they got a
yeah,
problem with him, they should go to him and not jump all over me because if somebody sit there a high that I've had a disagreement with, it wasn't directed to me. He said, he didn't say Miss Kennard. He said, tell them I said hi. Them is who? All of
even them could have been the
Who
audience
them?
too.
Who them?
them.
Sorry.
Yeah, and them could have been the audience too.
Yes.
But let me say this. Let me say this. And I just want to address this because I didn't know what was happening, what was going on, where that comment from Commissioner Warren came from. I had no idea what she was talking about. And I
I
still don't
haven't seen nothing. I've been involved with nothing. I don't know nothing about it.
and
Because the last I
I still
knew,
don't know what was said to this day. But from listening to her, she was attacking you for
you,
bringing up his name just
uh-huh.
because you said he said to tell them hi. Then she jumped on you for bringing up his name and started attacking you, which was wrong. That
And
was
then the
dead
rest of them
wrong.
jumped on me
If
too.
she if he said something and said all those things that she said he said or did, and
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Seats said it, and Commissioner Singleton or whatever, if he did all of that, that should be addressed to him, not you. She
That's
was
right.
addressing
And
you
they
for
should
bringing
have
up this.
addressed them if they were just upset with him. They should have been in touch with them
She should have
before that
talked
was
to
brought
him.
up. Uh-huh.
Not
Because
not.
they're men. That's right. But
Hmm.
there are weak men, and men can be weak when they don't go and confront another man. They got to fight an old lady like me, which is strong and don't lose no sleep over it no way. So it didn't take that.
And you very well shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
You very well shouldn't. But what I'm
I can
saying,
see him and smile at him. And if I see him in distress or hurt, I will pick him up and pray for him and do what I can do for him.
that's
But I'm
right.
not going to let them manipulate me.
That's
And I'm
right.
not a
That's
puppet.
right.
And they're not my puppet master.
That's right. That's right. So,
And I'm going
and
to do what is right for this city.
and you should and continue to do that. And we got your back. So just to let y'all know, don't come for her like that. Please don't, because you were wrong for even coming for her. Come for the person who said what they said about you. Go to them. Go to if you had a
Because I
problem
don't
with
know nothing
whatever
about
that man said about you, you go to them. She can say whosever name she wants to say. She don't need y'all permission to speak on anybody's name, to
it. That's
say
right.
anybody's name. And she didn't say anything other than the man said hi. Now you all have done worse than that. Mr. Bowens have went to her house. Mr. Bowens had been in the commission meeting, bursted out against Ethel Clark Griffin, called her all out of her name, and most of y'all saw all of that, but you still continue to mention his name. But that's okay. That's okay though, right?
Uh-huh.
For you all to do that. So quit acting like, you know, when she says something or these strong women say something that is a problem, when you all are always attacking them when they want to say something. Then when they say something, you're looking like, what is she talking about? Why is she speaking or whatever? You guys need
But
to
it's the
stop
way
that.
it's like it was said in the conversation that strong women are under attack. Women in leadership is under attack.
Right, right. So just to let you all know, that situation shouldn't have happened, and it needs to be some apologies, I believe, because you can't assume that people know what other people are doing and saying nobody can control anybody's mouth, nobody can control anybody's thoughts, anything like that. And some people don't even know. Like I didn't even know what was said. I still don't know what was said, but You know, that's just like me saying that, and I had no idea what was going on. So you have no right to attack people for things that you think is happening.
And when your
And
heart is
far as
pure,
if it's a problem, if
I
it's
was
a
just gonna
problem
say,
between
oh,
them, it's not my business.
Ms. Kennard, sorry.
Right. Go. What did you say,
Yes,
I was
Tim?
just
darling, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when your heart is pure, you don't have to worry about what people are saying to you. You keep it moving. So the
No,
fact that if
That's
the
like I
right.
said,
fact
I
that
didn't lose no sleep.
right, and the fact
That's
that
right.
they
That's right.
that there's a
That's right.
sense of defensiveness just off of hearing somebody's name is the first sign that why are you what's wrong? Why can't
Yeah.
you
Mm,
know? So
And then other commissions start to piggyback off of that,
yeah,
for no reason.
right,
They got issues too, and we know that.
right.
Everybody that knows them know that, that they got issues.
But I think we had came at them about in that meeting, and they couldn't get things passed through.
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
a golden opportunity for them to fight.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
at the fact, that they didn't get what they wanted in that meeting.
Right. Right.
Mm,
So yeah, and there is attack on women. It's an attack
it
on
is.
black women. It is attack on strong women. It is, and
That's right.
people need to understand that and realize that. And we're gonna segue. So thank you, Mom Kennard, for those updates for the city. We appreciate you so
You're
much.
welcome.
thank you,
Yes.
Mama
Appreciate your stance.
Kennard.
Appreciate how
Thank
you
you.
stand up for
Thank
the
you.
city and how you stand up against the opposition.
Yes.
You were on this side where we are, but now you're on the other side of the table where you
Mm,
can
Right.
speak up even more so for the people. And we appreciate
Yes.
you. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate, and you're a young woman. You're not old. Like I said, you got more sense than most of them on that
Well,
board.
I got some
Yeah,
a young woman, Commissioner Griffin, and that girl is tough,
mm,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she
But I
goes at
mean,
it. Uh-huh.
I'm
And
telling
so
you,
I got some ladies with me that
right,
works with me.
right.
And
And if we
then
can get
you
three
and Mrs.
more, if we
Gavin
can,
is smart. And like
right,
our guest,
Miss Tiana.
Wardell here,
That's right.
she is so impressive. I've been there and saw her how she conduct herself.
Yes,
And I'm
yes,
so impressed when I find women that conduct themselves like that. They're
yes.
strictly business.
And
right.
And
if
so
we
I
can,
like
That's
that.
right.
and if we could get more
Uh-huh.
Mama Kennards, Commissioner Kennards, more
Right.
Tiana Whitedales, more Elnora Gavins,
And more of
more
you.
They're
Ethel
there. They're
Griffin.
there. We're building the capacity
Ethel
right
Griffin, yeah.
now.
One
If we can get
Lily
more
Henry.
of those type of people,
Yes,
like-minded people on these
Right.
boards,
yes,
They out
yes.
there.
on the commission, on the
Yes.
Hmm.
school boards,
Yes.
we can make so many good things happen for our community.
Right,
We
Yes.
right.
can. Because
Yes.
it don't take long. See, what's taking long is because we're fighting the opposite. We're fighting people that's saying no to the wrong thing,
Right.
Right.
right? So if you get somebody that's saying yes, voting up yes to the right things, you don't have a fight.
Right.
Right.
The vote carries, and now we can move on. We can go ahead and get this done and go ahead and
Yep.
move on. And that's the misconception people have when they talk about, we ask, you want to be on the board, no, I don't want to be in that mess. Well, it won't be mess if the right people get on the board.
Right.
That's right.
The mess is from the messy
I
people
think
that wants to say no and keep stuff going and keep messy stuff started and working for other people and not for the right people, not for our kids and not for our community. That's where the mess comes in.
Yes.
can I tell you about the excuses?
Oh yeah. Tell us
I said
again.
they said excuses is a lot of words wrapped up in a lie.
Mm,
Mm. Yeah.
So when people give excuses, anything they really want to do, they'll get out and do it.
Yeah.
Cause some people say, "Girl, I got to get my rest." But if they throwing a party, they are popping their
Oh,
fingers. They be up all night long,
that's it.
balling.
That's it. People do what they want to
But when
do.
it comes to really doing something constructive,
right.
oh, girl,
Yeah.
they gonna do
People,
what they want to do anyway.
right. And that tells you where people's priorities lie.
Hope.
That's right.
That
Hope
tells
is
you where their
gone.
priorities lie because people are going to do what's important to them. If it's
That's
important to
true.
them, they're going to make a
Hmm.
way to do it.
Right.
To do it.
If it's
That's right.
important, if it's a top priority, they're gonna go through hell and high water to get to where they need to go. you
So
know,
get that rapper
if
there.
they if
So
they got
all
a
those
thumb,
words
if they
in.
got the thumb, they way to get there.
That's right.
They're
That's
gonna
right.
get there because they want to be there. you know.
Well,
So
remember what
again,
I
thank
say
you,
about
Dr.
the excuses.
Yep, that's right.
Remember what I say about the excuses.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
no
right. So
more.
thank you so much again for that. So we got to get
Yes.
for all your hard work and everything. So we got to move on to Miss Tiana
Yeah.
Baptiste
Yes.
Waddell.
Yay.
Thank you. I want to get you on here and get your thoughts and get your story. Um,
Yes.
she is a former chief of academics from Benton Harbor area schools,
Yes.
and she did a wonderful job while she was there.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, she even implemented programs that was
Yeah.
needed for our kids while she was there that I believe was stripped. But I'm gonna let her tell her
Yeah,
story
yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to get it wrong.
Yes.
I'm gonna let her tell her
Right.
story and give us some insight on what happened.
What
You
happened?
know,
Yeah,
like what
yeah,
happened. You know, I know you're not there anymore. You know, I don't know the full story, so that's why I want you,
yeah,
you know, to enlighten us and give
yes,
us your, you know, story and your opinion on
yeah,
what you think happened or what you know happened or what you think should have happened and going forward.
yeah. Woo. Just the introduction. Ooh, I have a deep pit in my stomach
I'm
right now
sorry.
because it's still so fresh.
Hmm.
Still so fresh, and I care
Take your
so much.
time. Take your
I
time.
care so much. And so,
Yeah.
when you asked me to be on the show, of course, I like to write my thoughts down and make sure I'm prepared. So the first thing that I do want to do is I do really want to take a moment and just do a shout out just to a few people. Just because if it wasn't for these people, I never would have stepped foot in Benton Harbor.
Mm.
They gave me an opportunity and I really am appreciative of them. And so the first person I do want to give a shout out to is Chief Elizabeth Gale. She was the HR chief at the time that called me. She recruited me. They were
Mm-hmm.
struggling trying to find someone, and she called. I had tried to be the principal at the high school the summer before, and I decided not to take the position. Moved on with my life. Got a call that next fall, or excuse me, that winter, that January, and that is how this opportunity came. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her and of course, to Dr. Andre Townsend, he was the superintendent at the time. I came in under his superintendency. And then, of course, to the committee of people that gave the okay to say yes to Townsend. So if it wasn't for those people, and on that committee were board members, I want to give a shout out to Secretary Triplett and Angela Creighton. They were also on the committee. And if it wasn't for those people, I would never have been in the district. So I got to the district, super excited. The thing that's unique about my situation is that I was under two different styles of leadership. I came in under Dr. Townsend, who, in my opinion, has a restorative type of leadership, one that I align myself with, one where he is very relational. He tries to build the capacity among his staff and his people. He had just that type of leadership. And then the transition came where he left and the district was looking for new leadership, and Dr. Butts was placed as interim and then later named superintendent. And the leadership style changed, and that happens in school districts all over the country. Some different superintendents in the administrative world and education. It's a revolving door. And I think you guys know that in your own community. And so different people come in and they have different philosophies. And so I think that Dr. Butts and I worked well together. But I have this written down because I told you, so I'll make sure I stay focused here. What I believe happened, and I do have this posted already. This has already been released on my Facebook page. But what I believe happened, honestly, is there was just a shift in perception of who I was, I guess, in November of 22 when I attended Miss Gwen Swanigan's social justice ball. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But I will tell you after that date. Now you're on mute, Gwen. You're on mute.
I didn't mean to hit mute. So you're telling me, I'm sorry, I'm listening and I'm just like, so
That's just my lived
you're
experience.
telling us
Yes,
and the
yes, yes.
audience that a shift everything was working
Yes,
good, everybody was gelling okay,
yes.
and then a shift came
Shift
when
came.
you attended
Yes,
the social justice ball that was
yes,
given in 2022.
yes. My lived experience was got the job holding my monthly curriculum subcommittee meetings, leading the teaching and learning department, leading the teams, doing what my job description said. And then I went to the social justice ball. And then after that, there was lack of responses to me in emails, more than one occasion. There was body languages that changed, and I would try to approach certain folks, and you could tell they weren't even trying to hear me or talk to me anymore. And then it got to a point where this is where it really began to become toxic. Okay. Because now we're at the point where I'm being named on record in board meetings of not fulfilling my job duties, when in actuality I was, and people were lacking being responsive to me. So if you were to review board docs or board videos from the board meetings from December of 22 through July of 23, you have the chair, which is Ronaldo Triplet, the curriculum subcommittee chair, announcing every meeting. Oh, I haven't had a chance to meet with Chief Odell. She hasn't been available. They're not available, like every meeting, and that wasn't true. So it was starting to create toxicity. And there was a lot of other things that happened, but that's just one example. How about that? I'll give you one example. And so when you try to dialogue about how do we address these things that are happening that aren't fair, people's conflict styles are different. So some people can address conflict and some can't. Some people know how to talk to people and some can't. So when you go to your own leader and you're asking for support, and this is not just me, this is the entire cabinet. I mean, it got to a point where the entire cabinet was ready for a meeting with the president of the board, and that meeting never happened, but we were supposed to meet because of the toxicity that we were experiencing. And so for that year, that next 6 months or so, it was just a creation of a toxic environment. I did not feel supported by my direct leadership. There were things that were happening, things that were being said I was doing that were not true. I was not, again, being heard. And so it got to a point where the toxicity was too much, and I had to take an FMLA at the beginning of this school year. I had to take an FMLA August and September. And I did that because I had this same experience in South Bend schools, but that's a whole nother story. You could bring me on for another show. I got a whole nother story because we're talking about Black women in leadership, right?
Yeah.
And so I took a leave, and when I was home, I was determined to return because I realized I deserve to be here. I ain't do nothing wrong to nobody. I have a right to go to a social justice ball.
That's right.
And I was
Right.
cute. And I was cute. No, I'm just playing.
And
But
yeah, and you were cute. You were representing. Yes, you
you
were.
know, and so
And you spoke well. Your
yeah, I
speech
mean,
was awesome.
and so I took a leave. I came back. When I came back, things shifted. There was another shift. I mean, there was just so much. It's just toxic. And
So
so
I'm sorry.
so let me just get to the end to where now I'm now eliminated. And so the treatment continued, but I was resolved that I was going to win every day and do what I needed to do for the district and for those teachers and for the students because the people needed me. January of 24, that's when all the changes happened as far as staffing goes. The first round, I was the sounding board for everybody that had shifts. Nobody else dealt with that but me. And so April came, and there was this allegation that Dr. Butt stated that he had a complaint that he received in April on me, and that he was going to send me home on a non-disciplinary leave. This is exactly what my letter says, a non-disciplinary leave so that he can investigate. And I sat at home from the second week in April until my contract expired. and never had an investigation. They did not call me in to
What?
investigate. They did not call me in to investigate until the week and a half before June 30th. So what was happening between April and June 23rd or June 20th?
Right.
What was going, why couldn't anybody call? If this is it, there's a complaint, well, what?
What
So
was the complaint?
I don't know. I don't have any details of it because I didn't get the call. You know,
You
and
no,
by
no,
the
no,
time,
no, no.
yeah, and by the time the investigator called me, I was so fed up and frustrated, I didn't even talk to him.
No,
What's
you
the
should
point
have
when I have 7
known.
days on the contract? So no,
Yeah, you
you
should have
know,
known the complaint before
it's
you
not
got put on.
listed. It's not, I
So
have it right
he
there.
just
No.
put you on a lead. He just put you on
It says in my
a
letter, that it says
non-disciplinary leave
non-disciplinary leave. So that
without wait, saying there was a complaint without telling you what the complaint was.
yeah.
Are you serious? Wow. Wow. And the board allowed him to do that.
Well, I don't know if what board, they don't have control like that, and they shouldn't. Number one, in an efficient school district, a functioning one, they shouldn't be controlling staffing in that way. So it's the responsibility of the superintendent. What's unfortunate is, and this goes back to the board meetings, and for people to pay attention to when you're listening to the board meetings. If you listen to them talk about how much money they're spending on legal fees, okay, they are spending a lot of dollars on legal fees because their only employee is not investigating his own complaints. So what I mean by that is, say a teacher submits a complaint on a principal. Instead of having his team or even him as the person in charge investigate, he is calling on the lawyers every single time to do these investigations. And it's racking up dollars every single time. That's why the legal fees are so high. So yeah, that's a whole nother story. But that's what happened. And so I sat at home from April to June, waited for somebody to call me. They finally called and his name was Mark. And I told him it's trauma. This is trauma. I was already being traumatized. I go home, I try to come back, I try to give it my all. And then now I'm sitting at home again, like sitting there again, like what am I doing? You know, waiting for somebody to call. And it's like, they're not gonna call. I know what this is because they're doing this across the nation. They're doing this across the nation. It's actually called, and I cannot find the article, but it is called now the poker game in education. It's something about poker where leaders in education are now knowing, especially ones that are truly trying to change the dynamics and the systems and really trying to do things for kids that are under-resourced and underprivileged and all this, you know, black students, people that are trying to make a difference for Black lives, they're being pushed out. Look at Cincinnati Public Schools, the superintendent, she just got pushed out. Look at professors at the university level that are trying to make differences for equity, being pushed out. And so now people are being smart and they're negotiating their contracts and planning for these push outs. You know, so when I got sent home in April, I knew I wasn't coming back. I knew I wasn't coming. I knew I was not coming back. I grabbed my degrees. I grabbed my plate that my third grade student gave to me about 15 years ago. And the HR person that was walking me out said, Tiana, you're going to be back in a couple weeks. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not coming back. They don't want me here. I'm doing too much change. And speaking of those accomplishments, this is
That's
what I
it.
did. This is what I
That's
did in year one. This is just a little bit of what I did in year one. Number one, I was able to build real relationships with people in your community. I mean, look, I'm on your show and I live in South Bend. I think that's pretty cool. But I have other relations with folks, you know, that I still have relationships with people. Some of the programming, you know, that we brought in, I was able to recapture what Benton Harbor used to do when it came to data and how they use data in formative assessments. We had a lot of high school courses that were added. Hip hop literature, the students love it. That's still around. From my understanding, Swahili is still supposed to be there. Tourism, we had to tweak a little bit just because of the staffing issues and the numbers. Fashion design, I'm not sure. The The CTE director, that's a whole story. And if I could tell you the internal on that, let's just say Honora was working on that on the outside and I was pushing it on the inside. Let's just say that, and I'll leave it at that. Teacher cadet class, that one wasn't the best. We didn't have a big turnout on the students. That needed to be marketed better. But we had an excellent teacher in that role, but we just needed to do more work in that space. Allied health pathway, from my understanding, we got that kind of solidified a little bit better. We had the science and social studies adoptions. They hadn't had stuff for years. They weren't even teaching the right social studies at the 3rd grade for years. You know, like, I mean, these are things I worked on year 1. We had the bash. There hadn't been a bash before COVID. It had been 2 or 3 years before the bash happened. I did the bash with support, but we did the bash again. You know, summer school enrollment increased. The first year I did it, it increased by like 50 or 60% the next year. And then growing our own, those were my favorite people right there. The growing our own teachers, they care, they get the students, they want more money. They want to pass, they want to pass the test. You know, they want to pass the test. I was trying so hard to figure it out. You know, you have to be tough on them though. That situation is tricky when it comes to the growing our own. Because as a parent, like if I send my kids to school, I want them to have the best teacher. So we want them to have, and best, quote unquote, best is certification, right? Okay, in our world, right? Mm-hmm. And so you need them to be certified. And districts do have to do due diligence to look for certified teachers. And so it's a tricky situation because we need to build them up, but we need to ensure that we are providing the supports to get them to that certification. But if we're supporting folks and they are dropping balls on that support, at some point, some people got to go, but it doesn't mean everybody needs to go. You could tier, you could do tiering around that. There's all ways you could approach that, but we do need people to be certified. So that is important. So I'm just speaking to that because that's been a topic. Up there.
But you had teachers that wanted to be certified, right?
Yeah, they want to be, but there's barriers. And that's another thing that could be considered politics. The barriers to becoming certified. I just saw a article yesterday that some states or somewhere is considering dropping the praxis test to get certification because it's a barrier. Some of these teachers have been teaching 5, 6, 7 years. They have great growth data, but they can't get certified because they can't pass that standardized biased probably test. I'm sure they do their best to get rid of bias, but there's probably still some bias in there.
I'm not so sure, but that's your,
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, that's science. That's science.
Right. Yeah. I'm not so sure they do their best to get rid of bias, but because
I see.
You see what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, that barrier wouldn't be so hard.
Right.
That barrier wouldn't even be there for
right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the perspective I'm looking at.
Yeah, I got you. And I'm like that too. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I get it.
And so
yeah. Anyway, so that's what happened. I mean, that's my perspective. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so let's just kind of backtrack. So it all started after you attended the social justice gala, right?
The gala.
Why do you think? Have you thought about?
Oh yeah.
Why do you think that it happened right after that? The change became right after that.
Have you seen this? You know this story, right? If y'all don't know this book, y'all got to read this book on your own community because it tells you everything. Now, you'd have to do a lot more digging and learning about the history and all the trauma we've been through as a people and how we get to these positions where there's people in power that are fighting the wrong fight. It's a mess. It's a mess. The chapters, the powers that be. This community, from my understanding, was one way. The industrial time happened. There was a flight. People came, people went here, people stayed here. And then, the whole crabs in the barrel. It's the whole crabs in the barrel concept.
Yeah.
because you've got people fighting within the own culture, each other to get to the same goal. We all want peace, happiness, joy, equity, to feel, we all want the same thing, but for some reason we have been so conditioned by our oppressor that we fight each other.
Yes.
And so I went to that social justice ball, which in my opinion are people that are about racial healing advocacy. And there's people in our community that are more about inclusion and the all, right? All lives matter, which I do believe that too. They do. But what do they say? All lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Black lives does. That's right.
You know, we got to
Yeah.
fix the root. We got to
Yeah.
fix the root. So because I align myself with the people that are about getting to the root cause, which is racism, interpersonal racism, intrapersonal racism, structural racism, institutional racism, because I align myself up with people that are trying to break down those barriers, I got targeted.
You got it. That's
I
it.
got targeted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the
and
same
that's what
experience. And real quick, let me just say, that's the same experience that I had in South Bend schools when I woke up, because that's where I became woke first. So that's all I got to say.
wow. Wow. And that's it's really sad,
Yes.
but it's true. Anybody that's standing up for justice, racial justice, standing up for our people, for us to get and be where we need to be and get what we need to have, there's always a fight from our own people, which it shouldn't be, because we're
That's right.
we're fighting the same people we're fighting for,
Mhm.
and it just doesn't make sense.
Well, it does make sense because that stuff started when we were on the plantation.
Yeah,
It
I get
does.
Right.
I
that,
mean,
but I'm saying it doesn't make. I mean, it seems
Oh,
like
okay.
at this point,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
where we are now, it doesn't make sense that this person over here is fighting the wrong person over here, right?
Right.
But then when you think about it, now you're wondering who they're actually working for,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
like you're
That's
not working for the community. You're working against us. You're not working for the children. You're working against us. If you were, we wouldn't have the boiler problem. We wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have the 60 teachers almost gutting it out the school. 60 teachers that they just told that they weren't going to have a job if they didn't reapply
Yeah.
for their jobs. And I don't know what kind of sense does that make. But I'm just saying, if you look and you line all these things up,
Yep.
you line them all up, it's like,
Yeah, and it didn't hit me like, and you're right, because the way I finally had my realization around what you're just saying. So once I got the complaint, because what happened, I went to the ball. I think it was that Thursday. Dr. Butts told me that Trenton Bowens had an issue with me representing Benton Harbor area schools, and I told him, I said, look, I didn't know they were going to put that up there like that. Nobody even asked me anything like that. Had I known, I would have told him, no, I'm coming as Tiana, Liaison Consulting, which you see right here. But that conversation never happened because you and I had planned for a whole nother person to be there. We were trying to get Jordan Geiger there. And you had asked me last minute. I said, yeah, I'll speak whatever. So we were just vibing, whatever. So nobody knew that was going to happen. So then that Thursday, I get told that. So that was my first sign. Okay. So these people aren't all about what I thought it was about. Like that really was my first sign. And then after that, the behaviors changed from the chair of curriculum subcommittee. I started getting told mistruths or however you want to say it in board meetings about me not being available when I was sending emails. Butts was CC'd on them. Liz Goodwin was everybody CC'd. Everybody sees me reaching out several times, but you're not responding for 6, 7 months, 8, 9 months. You know,
and yeah, and it's
oh,
it's sad that they had a problem with even we had Ben Harbor represented Ben Harbor area schools, right? It's sad that you even had a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Just having a problem with that
and
alone.
so when I go and I tell my story, it's embarrassing. I'm like, all black folks, yeah. I mean, people look at me like, were they black or white? I'm like, they were black.
And it is. It
Mhm.
is.
I
It's
have to
very
tell them it's a
interesting.
mindset. It's a mindset. It's no longer just color on the skin. It's interpersonal, structural, and institutional. We are enabling these procedures and ways of living our life in American society. You know, we are embracing the oppression every day.
Right.
A majority of people embrace the oppression.
Mhm.
I can't do
And that
that.
mindset is so strong.
Yeah.
It's like a
So,
stronghold
yeah.
in the minds of people. And it's like that
Mm-mm.
has to break, like just break, because if it doesn't break, I mean, and I think we're making some strides. We're making strides in areas, in different
Right.
areas.
We
We're,
are.
we're
I
winning.
know.
We're
I
winning in some
know.
areas, and we're going to
Yes.
continue to fight this good fight, like you got fighting the good fight. We're not going to give up
Right.
fighting this good fight, even because we know what we're dealing with.
Right.
We know what we're up against,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's
We
But
wouldn't
we're
even be
not
able to
going to
be on
give
this
up
platform. Right.
because of the oppressors, because of the sellouts, because some of them are sold out, because of the puppets or the people that are doing things, trying to on the inside out. Coming from the inside out, trying to manipulate and tear down, and gut out our systems and our kids and cancel us out. You know, we're going to continue to fight for our kids. We're going to continue to fight for what's right. I don't care who the powers that be are. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If it's
Yeah.
not right
That's
for our children and right
right.
for our community,
Right.
I'm not going to agree with it. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to, and you can't come to me and say, Glenn, let's just do this
Right.
because of, no, 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 no. Let's do it because of the kids. Let's do it because,
Right.
it's right, you
Right.
know.
Right. And
So
that's so
it
yeah,
is an
that's
attack, and it is an attack, like you said, all across the nation,
yeah,
all
it
across,
is.
you know,
It's in a
all the
lot of
black
spaces.
schools. We're all going through what's happening, what we're going through, but we still have to stand strong.
Correct.
Still need to stand strong. And I wish that a lot of these men, our black men would stand up and
right.
and and take the initiative and take the front line, because I see more women
Hmm. Yeah,
standing
and
up
I
for
think it starts
righteousness.
with us though. I think it starts with us.
It
It
starts with,
starts with
but you know
women.
what? But you know
But then
what?
we do need more men though. I'm not saying that. I'm not
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's already started with us.
Yeah, exactly. True.
It's already started. I
Yes.
mean, it goes way back to the families.
Yes.
To the families where they, the men, left some of them, whatever the reason they left the woman and the child, whatever, and then now they're gone away from the home. However that happened, and that's a whole nother show. But they're gone away from the home. But now the woman is forced
Yeah.
to take care of her home.
Yeah.
She's forced
Mhm.
to take care of that child and herself, to
Yeah.
do whatever she needs to do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
So
just the community in general. I mean, even in our situation where we're in these seats to fight for the community. You know, we're
to fight
taking
for the
care of our
community.
home.
So we are
Period.
women. I mean, we strong black women.
Yeah.
We're strong black women, and we don't back down. And we have been since, Harriet
Beginning of
Tubman.
time.
Harriet Tubman. Hey,
Right.
it's in us. It's in us.
Right.
But it's
Right.
also the men to come in and step up, because I'm tired of these jellyback men.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these men that's just,
Yeah.
their backs just, you hit them in their back and they just fall
But you
over.
know, but with the last so since I've been sitting at home, I've been fortunate to be able to tap into the space of racial healing. I love it. You know, that's really what I believe in, racial black empowerment. And so speaking of men, we were fortunate when I was able to support Gwen and Angela in the press conference in Elnora, and how at that board meeting, that board meeting was packed full of men in suits, black suits. So
Yep.
they're there, and when they're called on or when they really understand, and that's what I said earlier somewhere, watch, learn, and then take action. When you really are starting to pay attention, you're starting to watch, you start to watch over and over, you start to see patterns of stuff, right? And then you start to dig and you want to learn more about what's happening, and then you can start taking action. But when people understand, that the community is in need, people are coming out. People are understanding that there's something wrong, and that board meeting was filled with men.
Yeah. And
Right.
and that's the key. Understanding,
Yes.
comprehending what is really going on, not just looking at the surface,
Right.
but getting to the root of the problem and
Right.
finding out, because see, when people look at the surface, a lot of times people just tend to talk about it like, oh, this going on, this going on,
Right.
that's not right, that's not. But when you really get to that root and you really dig and see what's really going on, it starts to enlighten you. You start to become enlightened about, oh, wait a minute. So this is how we got here.
Right.
This is
And
how
I
we got
think,
here.
and
And
I don't,
now something
right.
stands up in you like, wait a minute, because now you see where you can put yourself, you're in this now, right? You see yourself being in this. So now it's time for you to start fighting. So people are opening up and opening their eyes.
And that's why,
And
I feel like, when this happened, and this is a similar, unfortunately, in my professional experience, the last 3 years, this has now happened to me twice. That's my career journey. I've been pushed out of 2 systems now because of my beliefs to fight for all students, but to really press the system, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. And
So,
that's unfortunate. It is, and I'm
and I
sorry.
don't even know.
But God puts us on paths for a reason.
Yeah, oh, and that's what I was to say. Thank you, because I was like, where was I going with that? So basically, I feel like it's my mission to help people see and understand, because people don't know. For example, let me give you this as an example. South Bend schools, everywhere in the city, we've got 85% graduation rate. It's increased. We're doing better. Yay, it's great. Well, if you dig deeper, like you said, Gwen, if you dig deeper into that data, okay, we might have graduated 85% of our students, but only 10% of them were ready in mathematics, and only 25% were ready in like English, writing, and reading, based on standardized testing. So it's like, you have to really see what's going on, because people will manipulate, and then it causes confusion. And then if people aren't transparent, you don't know who to believe. And people believe because they're friends and cousins, or they gave them some money. I don't know, but they don't really know what's going on behind closed doors.
Right. Exactly.
And it's sad, because we're the ones that are suffering. People, Black, Indigenous people of color, we get the brunt. We get it. We get the worst of these decision makers, these people in power. We get the effects of their decisions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And to be honest, they're gonna get it too. They're getting it too. Because you're the same color we are. You know what I'm saying? And so you think you're helping the opposition, which you are, but you're hurting us and yourself, because at the end of the day,
you reap what you sow.
when the dust settles at the end of the day, they're
Yep.
gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yep.
And it's sad that they fall into that, but I thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and with your story, and allowing everybody to hear, and being courageous enough, and having the courage to come on the show, because I know, like I said, it's traumatic. You've been through it twice. This is still fresh, on you, and I know it's not easy. It's
No,
not
it's not.
easy to talk about,
Nope.
but you have, like I said, you that strong Black woman, and you have the strength, and had the strength to talk about it, because that's what's going to help you heal.
And
That's
that's another reason why I started to talk more, because it's so therapeutic. Oh, it's so therapeutic.
That's what's going to help you heal, and continue to look to God, and pray and ask God to continue to give you the strength and the guidance on where He's taking you, because He's taking you somewhere. He's taking you
Yeah.
somewhere. He didn't allow you to go through this for nothing. You know, we go through things as Black women, but there's always a reason. There's always, as I said, light at the end of the tunnel. There's always good out of the bad. You pull that good out of the bad and say, you know, I know I'm going through this for something, and it's going to make you a better person, and it's
Yes.
going to help you to make other people better and encourage and educate
Mm-hmm.
people on what's really going on what's really going. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you standing up for what's right. I appreciate you standing up for our children when you did, and you still are, you know, in another capacity. I appreciate you just being there and not giving up.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I
you didn't give
appreciate,
up. You didn't give up. You never gave up.
yeah, I
They,
did, and that's why I'm so proud of myself. Because I
yeah,
swear
you
I
never
wanted to
gave
quit.
up.
I
You
swear I
continue.
was like, I'm just gonna go away. Let me just go away over here. I mean, no, nope. I
You
came
didn't
back.
give up. You
I
didn't
came
give up.
back, y'all, and I said I know I deserve to be here, and I tried my best for your community. I swear I did every day when I woke up, and I drove to I don't even know how I drive so many places. But Benton Harbor, I swear I did my best for you. And the one thing I will say I have learned in my two situations is that I will continue to work on being unified. Unity
Yes.
is so key. And when toxicity lurks in, it's there to disunify, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing I've learned is how important it is to be unified.
Yes. Because where there's unity, there's strength.
Strength. That's right.
There's strength.
So
There's
right
strength.
now you'll see there's not strength, there's weakness.
Yeah, yeah. But because there's no unity.
I
Because there's no
know,
unity.
I know.
So
But the
yeah,
one
but when
thing we
there's
can,
unity,
the one thing we can feel good, your DNA is a winner. You're made out of the good stuff. Your DNA is. So you can't give up. You can't stop. And even if you wanted to, you couldn't because your DNA gives you a victorious woman. So
Warrior.
you're women of strength. So that's what we're looking for today. And you all fit that.
yeah.
Thank you,
And
Emma
I
Kadar.
think
I appreciate your words.
she's a woman of wisdom,
I know,
a
I love
wise
it.
woman of wisdom, has a
Thank
lot of
you.
wisdom.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you both. And we're out of time. We've been out of time, but you know, we usually go over because these conversations are so deep and
Right.
they're so needed, you know, and people need to hear and understand,
Yes.
you know, what's really going on. But I see some light. I see some
Yes.
things happening that's, you
Mhm.
know, that's coming to light. And I see, you know, wins. I see
Not giving up.
celebrations.
Not giving
I
up.
see Black Wall Street. I see
Right?
Fresh Start.
That's
I
right.
see
Yes.
all of that. I see it all. You know, it's all going to come together, you know, as long as we stick together and we stay together,
Mhm.
we continue to fight this good fight.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Fight this good fight, you know,
Yes.
continue to fight, continue to love, continue to heal together, you know, and to continue to forgive. You know, we have to forgive. We don't forget, but we have to forgive
Mhm.
so we can move on. And, you know, because the forgiveness it's not always for the other person, it's for
Right.
us,
You're right.
you know,
Mhm.
so we can do what we need to do and not
Yes.
have
That's
that,
right.
you know, lingering on us. So
Right.
again, thank you guys. I love you all. Thank the
Well,
audience.
Thank you all.
I'm just letting y'all already know when I can't see these comments.
Oh yeah,
So
the comments. Let me tell you some comments. We got
look, I can't see it because when I turn on my phone, it's loud and you can hear the whole thing.
we
So
got
Can
I
we
have
hear?
to have
Can we
somebody
hear
reading
just?
the comments for me.
Can we hear a few of them?
yeah, we got
Yes,
somebody
can
just
you?
said we had somebody that said Jim Crow B Uni said Jim Crow mentality is strong out here.
Who said that?
B Uni.
Oh, okay.
And then we have Bonnie Christopher Young who said so unprofessional on so many levels. So I'm just randomly picking them.
Yeah, that's fine. I
And
appreciate it.
then we had Miss Elnora. Let's see, Miss Elnora said she put 3 bullseyes. So somebody said something and she was like, bam, bam,
Bam,
bam.
bam.
All right.
Good, good.
All
Well,
right.
we
Thank you
miss you. We
again.
miss you tonight, Miss Eleanor. Thank you though
Yes, we
for
did.
tuning in and watching. Thank all our audience again. Share this video out so people can, listen and find out what's really going on, and make their own decisions, and hopefully they're the right decisions. And to stand up and vote.
Right.
Get out and vote, you guys, because this
Vocal.
year I'm
Vocal.
telling y'all, this year's
Yes,
we need school board members,
yes,
and we need to get out and vote in the national election also.
That's true.
So
Yes.
we need you all to come out and vote, because your vote is your voice.
Yes.
Your vote is your voice. So again, thank you all. We love you.
yes.
Thank you for joining the Sharpshooter Show. Thank you again, Miss Tiana.
Thank you for having me.
joining
Thank you
us.
Gwen, for keeping
It's
me.
just been awesome tonight. So thank you again. Take care, you guys, and we
Yeah,
will
ma.
And
see
you all,
Miss Kennard.
you
next
all be very
time. God
blessed
bless
now.
you.
Okay.
Keep God
Yes.
first, and
Yes.
you'll go far.
All right.
Can't
All
go
Thank
wrong.
right.
you. Thank
Love
you.
you.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care.
See ya.
Bye bye.